The Iowa Girls High School Athletic Union State Basketball Tournament 2025 semifinal Thursday begins now. It is number 1 and number 4, the Johnston Dragons, and the Ankeny Centennial Jaguars doing battle today for a date in the finals. They want plans for Friday night, but they got to play Thursday morning to get there. Good morning, everybody, on this beautiful Thursday morning. Joanna Settles, Paul Yeager with you here as we get you ready for this one today. Joanna, we have two of the best coaches, teams, players, fan bases. What a way to start semifinal. So many things to pick from. What's your lead for this game this morning?
You know, Johnston, not only are they undefeated in 5A and one of the best teams in Iowa, they're one of the best teams in the nation. They're currently ranked 13 in the nation. That doesn't happen very often. They are special. They
are a special team. They have not lost in 2 years since they last played in the title game in 2023. They're looking to extend and add a few more 100 days, but they have a tall task getting through Centennial, who won in their opening match to get here. The Jaguars knocked out Pleasant Valley. That's the last team to beat Johnston. They won 51-47. Ava Martin was the key in this game. It was an excellent first quarter for the Jaguars. Ava Martin, she was 6 of 8 from 3 for 20 points. Jaden Pratt's also had a pretty good game, and she's approaching a milestone.
She is 5 points away from the 1,000-point club, so that will be an exciting moment for her today. Hopefully she can reach it in the first quarter.
The Dragons opened up play on Monday morning. They knocked out Iowa City Liberty 73-45 for their 50th straight win. Amani Jenkins, the future player for Virginia Tech, 16 points, 5 blocks. Ari Phillips, she's a twin. She had 15. Her sister Dea did okay too. She had 8. Jenica Lewis, though, not on that graphic, but she's on everybody's scorecard and scouting report.
She is. She has over 50 Division I offers. She's so much fun to watch. I love her passing. Watch out for her in transition because she has magic, and she makes her team so great, too.
And by the way, there's a freshman that plays for Johnston, Kelly Culp. To crack the lineup as a freshman means she has an upside, too. She has seemed to get better and better every game.
She is. Johnston has incredible depth, so many weapons. It's hard to stop, but there's no better person, a better coach to do that than the experience and the defensive wizardry of Coach Scott DeYoung, and their team values defense, so they will do everything they can to try to stay close.
Coach DeYoung's 907th game is coming up next here on the Iowa Girls High School Athletic Unit Digital Network, powered by Mid-American Energy. The 5A semifinals coming up next.
Here in Greater Des Moines, we're the unexpected sports mecca that feels like home. We are the big ballers, the little kickers, the underdogs, and the bulldogs. We've got events wacky and wild, big and small, we host them all. That old sports cliche, nobody believes in us? Nah, when you come here, you'll believe. Because in Des Moines, only the S's are silent. Let's go!
At Mid-American Energy, we're one company serving 1.6 million people who all need energy that's available 24/7. That's why we work 24/7. That's why we make investments in our systems that make us more resilient to extreme weather. That's why we generate power from all available resources to cover the variables in supply and demand. And that's why when the power is knocked out, we work around the clock to restore power to you. Mid-American Energy, obsessively, relentlessly at your service.
Centennial and Johnston getting ready here on the court right now. Behind that graphic, you will see the Centennial Jaguars going through their pregame shoot-around as we're just a couple of minutes away from tip-off here in this 5A semifinal. Let's take a look at your channel seeds. Seeds for success, Joanna Settles.
Ankeny's Centennial is going to try to slow the tempo because Johnston loves to run and gun, really push the ball down the court and score in transition. Again, we talked about their depth, and they have so many weapons. They can all score.
Dragons they put on a passing clinic against Liberty. Jenica Lewis just absolutely, she's one of those rare players that doesn't have to get her points. She is just content with the passes. she's really good at passing the basketball.
She is. That's what I think I'm looking forward to the most today. Is it's just really special when somebody can see the court. Obviously, we're all spoiled watching Caitlin Clark thread the needle so many times and make other players look so good, like Hannah Stolke on the runs for the Iowa women the last few years. But Jenica is very talented in seeing the court, pushing it. They really know how to run their lane. So we'll look forward to that today.
I think, we all talk about Caitlin Clark's impact on the game as a shooter. I still think her biggest impact will be her passing. Because you listen to all these players in postgame. I go, where'd you get your passing from? Well, duh, Caitlin.
Right. Part of that is you have to have girls that can run those lanes and run out ahead of you, right? And to really push that tempo so you can make those passes. So it's such a team effort and such team unity with the Johnston Dragons.
And for Centennial, Ava Martin, we talked about her in the open as the three-point shooter. Jaden Pratt, Maya Crawford, the future Drake Bulldog. You got you got 5 seniors in this lineup. It's all senior dominated, and it comes your way next. Lineups, introductions, and the national anthem when we return.
Hello, I'm Brent Johnson, a fifth-generation farmer from Calhoun County and president of the Iowa Farm Bureau.
And I'm Erin Gerlich, executive director of the Iowa Girls High School Athletic Union. We're excited to have you join us for the Girls State Basketball Tournament.
The Iowa Farm Bureau is proud to be the title sponsor of this amazing event. Iowa's farmers work endlessly to grow and raise nutritious food and sustain our local communities. Similarly, Iowa's student athletes dedicate countless hours to train and excel in their sport. Partnering with the Iowa Girls High School Athletic Union allows us to celebrate farmers and student athletes while supporting and empowering the Iowa girl.
Reaching the state tournament is a tremendous achievement, and it requires strong support. Thanks to the Iowa Farm Bureau, we can celebrate and honor students for their accomplishments on the basketball court and in the classroom. The Iowa Farm Bureau is dedicated to your success, assisting our organization in providing awards, grants and scholarships, as well as concussion insurance and these wonderful championship hats. These contributions not only protect student athletes' health, but also highlight outstanding performance in both athletics and academics.
As Iowans, we have so much to be proud of, and every single one of us plays a role in making our state great. So, from the Iowa Farm Bureau
and the Iowa Girls High School Athletic Union,
congratulations on an outstanding season and best of luck in the tournament.
For the 60th time, the Winterset VFW will present our colors at the state tournament.
Good morning, basketball fans.
Welcome to Day 4. We are so glad you're here for the 2025 Girls State Basketball Tournament. This 5A semifinal matchup features from Ankeny, the Centennial Jaguars and the Johnston Dragons. The Iowa Girls High School Athletic Union promotes good sportsmanship by everyone in attendance here today. We request your cooperation by supporting the participants, officials, and spectators in a positive manner. Profanity, racial, sexist, or abusive comments, or intimidating actions directed at officials, participants, coaches, team representatives, or event personnel will not be tolerated and are grounds for removal. We thank you for your cooperation. As the girls in the video said, enjoy the game. Fans, it's now time to introduce our players in today's 5A semifinal matchup. First of all, here are your non-starters and assistant coaches for the Centennial Jaguars. Number 2, Zoe Geiger. Number 10, Ryland Boating. Number 14, Emma Hunger. Number 24, Lizzie Beam. 31, McLean Kelly. 32, Macy Smith. And 35, Kylan Smith. Your assistant coaches, David Runchie, Andy Fain, Rachel Schmidt, Dennis Albertson, Taylor Runchie, Liz Bruns, and McKenna Gleason. Now let's meet the non-starters and assistant coaches for the Johnston Dragons. Number 4, Sydney Pullman. Number 5, Sydney Felice. Number 12, Chloe Hegelson. 23, Julia Kinnitz. 24, Ruby Pullman. 32, Paige Endermacht. 33, Emma Gray. 34, Adeline Hauser. 40, Hannah Haxton. And 44, Kaya Hood. Your assistant coaches, Brad Buchan, Christine Wolford, and Steve Valine. And now, here's your starting lineups for this 5A semifinal. For Centennial at guard, a 5'6" senior, number 1, Ava Martin. For Johnston at guard, a 5'10" junior, number 10, Jenica Lewis. At guard for the Jaguars, a 5'10" senior, number 3, Finley Blackmore. For the Dragons at guard, a 5'8" sophomore, number 14, Ari Phillips. For Centennial at guard, a 5'10" senior, number 4, Jaden Pratt. At guard for Johnston, a 5'8" sophomore, number 20, Dea Phillips. For the Jaguars at guard, a 5'8" senior, number 5, Maya Crawford. At guard for the Dragons, a 5'10" freshman, number 22, Kelly Kalb. And for Centennial at guard, a 5'5" senior, number 23, Tilly Smith. For Johnston at forward, a 6'1" senior, number 42, Amani Jenkins. Head coach for the Jaguars is Scott DeYoung. For the Dragons, Chad Gillick. Ladies and gentlemen, let me introduce to you our officials for today's 5A semifinal as assigned by the Iowa Girls High School Athletic Union. Your referee is Matt Scholl. Umpire, Pat Ensminger. And your umpire, Mark Worth. Your bench official, Cole Osterhaus. Ladies and gentlemen, the winner set VFW 8142 color guard has been presenting the colors at the girls basketball tournament for over 60 years. The color guard has members from the Marines, Army, Navy, and Air Force. They have served proudly in Vietnam, Iraq, and Afghanistan. At this time, we ask you, please stand, face the flag, as we honor our many veterans who have served proudly, those currently serving, protecting our freedom throughout the world and our great country of America. Today with the singing of our national anthem, performed by the Central Decatur High School Quartet, Peyton Phillips, Addie Brown, Allison Ruport, and Andon Hall under the direction of Beth Hall. Ladies and gentlemen, our national anthem.
Stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight, o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
Ladies and gentlemen, if you please remain standing until the colors are retired off the floor. Thank you. And thanks to the Central Decatur High School Quartet. Nice job. All right, who's ready?
All right, so we've met the players. We've talked about the game. We've told you who they are. We've put you in the arena. We're getting you courtside, Joanna. Now it's time to play the game.
Here we go, round 3 for these two teams against each other. The first time, Johnston won 55-43, so plus 12, and the second time it was 68-49, plus 19. We hope that it stays real close as often, as long as it can. Expect the defense of Ankeny Centennial to be really intense as they try to keep this close. It's tough for any team to stay close to Johnston.
There's a look at the Centennial. Now here's the Johnston lineup. Lewis, Phillips, Kolb, and Jenkins for the Jaguars. It's Martin, Blackmore, Pratt, Crawford, and Smith. The last time Centennial won, 2019. That's when Coach Taylor Runchie's daughter, who's on the sideline now, was playing. Let's see if we can get a good one. We always do with these two teams, and we are underway in the semifinals. The opening tip goes to Johnston, who are in their all-white jerseys, purple numbers, trimmed in black. The Jaguars in their black uniforms. Silver Jaguars around the front, trimmed in white. Lewis with the basketball, drives baseline, puts it up. She's blocked already by Smith, and it's out of bounds. It'll go to Centennial. One and done. Not even Jaguars the Johnston getting a shot on that possession.
Yes, you see a tight man-to-man pressure by the Jaguars, and as she drove, they pulled weak side. They pulled Tilly Smith to double Jenica, and it worked well.
Pratt goes beyond Jenkins, ripped away Crawford. She's on half a knee, and she's held, and the possession arrow favors Centennial, so the Jaguars will take it. Crawford to inbound, looks for Pratt on the cut. They're going to go Pratt, tips it back, and Lewis is there to collect 2-on-1. What can Tilly Smith do but turn the pass and force Phillips to score? Jenica, her first two. Oh, that was Dea Phillips, sorry.
It was Jenica Lewis's pass. There's her first assist. We can't wait for more.
Crawford into the paint, dribbles it off her left leg. Jenkins grabs the loose ball and now pushes it up. Ari Phillips with it.
Both possessions on defense. Johnston has had tips. They've just deflected it for their team to get the steal and go on. So some coaches keep track of those deflections. They matter.
Now Jenkins, now Phillips. Phillips kicks to her sister, Dea. Dea pulls up her dribble, guarded heavily by Crawford. Now Jenkins, 10 on the shot clock. Dribble down, poked away by Ava Martin. Out of bounds, it'll go back to the Jaguars.
And that was Ava Martin going down to double, get her hand on that ball.
Martin had all the points in the first quarter, it seemed, and if she can play a little bit of defense, that might give the offense a little bit of a spark that they need. Crawford on the handoff. Gets in trouble, throws it up. She lifted her pivot foot before she was able to get rid of it, and it's a turnover. The sophomore, Ari Phillips, walks it up. She had 15 in the quarterfinal against Iowa City Liberty and 7 rebounds. They find Jenkins underneath all alone for 2. Jenkins has been big in this game. She scored 16 points in both of the matchups earlier this season with the Jaguars. 2 minutes gone by, 4-0 Johnston. Jaden Pratt gets down, stuck in the lane. Smith, now Martin. Crawford cuts in, gets tied up, gets rid of it to a wide open Tilly Smith. 3, good. And then a turnover on the inbounds. Ava Martin right in the middle of it again.
There it is, a nice kick out to the corner, wide open because the defender doubled down.
Crawford, now Pratt. Shot is blocked by Jenkins. Up ahead, Lewis gets it to Kolb in transition, who gets the shooter's roll.
Run and gun is the name of the transition offense for Johnston.
Crawford guarded by Lewis in the paint. Turnaround post move. Lewis is called for the foul. Good one-on-one matchup there early on, Joanna.
It is. When I talked to Johnston coach Gillick, he said, Jenica Lewis has a big task of guarding Maya Crawford. Not easy, and here she is in the paint. A nice spin move, and once you break that cylinder and bring your arm down, it's an easy call for a foul.
Crawford hits the first, her first point, the future Drake Bulldog. You know her father, an assistant coach at Iowa State men's basketball. I said, hey, how's that work with you and Dad? Do you break film? Oh, we break down film a lot. I get a lot of film time with Dad.
It definitely makes you better.
Second free throw off the mark. Johnson holds on to a 2-point lead, looking to extend it now. Lewis brings it up. Now Phillips to Phillips. Backdoor taken away. Turnaround shot by Dea, no good. Jaden Pratt, the rebound.
Both teams using a lot of elbow, free throw line in passes for their offense, and both teams doing well with that. A steal there by Kolb.
Took it away from Martin. Now Jenkins. Now Lewis thinks about the 3. They go Phillips. 4 good passes. They go Phillips again. And off the left side, it's Dea now with 4.
A nice pass to the short corner and a quick baseline move.
Timeout, Centennial. Out of that transition there, got just a little bit lost in the wash, I guess you could say, Joanna, about what's going on. And defense is key as we take a look at this pass from Ari to Dea, and she just got behind Crawford. Crawford got into foul trouble Monday against Pleasant Valley. She was kind of having to play tentative there. Probably something they talked about, just saying we can't get an early foul.
No, but when you're playing defense, it's a 2-on-1 situation. It's not good odds, that's for sure. So she was smart to not foul there, but an easy basket for Johnston.
All right, what has Johnston done well so far?
Push the ball, right? And so off the rebound, they're running and gumming. They're getting ahead of the defense. So I'm sure Coach DeYoung, it says that cannot happen again. Watch for them even to release someone, to not even crash the offensive boards, to get back so they can protect the basket.
Finley Blackmore into the game. Now Smith, who had the 3. The only field goal for the team. Blackmore is going to pull it up and shoot the 3, and that's going to go off the iron. Crawford chases down into the corner, gets it back to Martin to save it. Blackmore dribbles down on Kolb. The runner, too strong. Weak side board, Ari Phillips. Lewis, pull back 3, way out. No good. Too strong, actually. Pratt pokes it away. Has up ahead Ava Martin from the right side and scores. Jaguars within 2 now.
Yes, Jenica Lewis averages 18 points a game. She has 71 3-point makes on the season.
Oh, wow. Phillips to Jenkins.
But it's those assists. Expect 3 a game. We've already seen 2 today.
I believe the kids call them dimes. Dropping dimes all over. Martin from way out. Oof, just about pulled her pivot foot there. Pratt with it. Fouled by, Blackmore is fouled by Kolb, both going for the ball there.
She read that pass well, but didn't jump that passing lane soon enough.
Substitution here coming in for the Jaguars. Lizzie Beam, and IMT Insurance brings you all your substitutions. Learn how you can be worry-free at imtins.com. Paige Andernocht back into the ball game for the first time today. She played heavily on Monday in that win over Liberty. Blackmore at the top of the key. Here comes Crawford, under 3 to play. Crawford drives, gets tied up. Oh, initially it looked like it was going to be a travel, but instead it's a held ball. Alternating arrow puts it back to the Johnston Dragons.
Full court man-to-man pressure just to slow things down a little bit for the Johnston offense.
Phillips to Lewis, and Lewis lost the handle on it right in front of that Jaguar bench.
Oh, what a little bit of pressure can do.
Lewis looked like she was not feeling any pressure on Monday, felt loose and calm. But the semifinal's a little different. You got that berth that stayed on, and both these teams, it's a matter of who can compartmentalize and make the plays. Jenkins disrupts the passing lane, and Crawford steals it away from Jenkins. Had no idea she was there.
A great play by Crawford, low and quick.
Martin from the left wing, now to the top of the key. Thought about the 3, now Beam. Crawford gets by Phillips, and the block by Ari Phillips. Up ahead to Kinnitz. Acrobatic shot, no good. Kinnitz almost gets the rebound. It's going to stay with the Dragons. Kinnitz, big minutes in reserve role on Monday. 13 in that quarterfinal. Did have an injury to the knee for most of the end of the season. And the nice runner by Jenica Lewis. Maybe that'll get her started. Not that she needs help getting started.
Now, this defense of Johnston, they're good, but man, with Amani Jenkins in there, she disrupts so much of the offense that the Jaguars are trying to do.
3 on the way from Beam, line drive in.
When there's not space in the lane, you kick it out to 3.
Lewis to a cutting Andernocht. All the Jaguars went on the first fake up, second one through.
Great shot fake. Pick and roll action with a great pass again by Jenica Lewis.
Now Ryland Boating with it. Now Crawford. Approaching a minute to play in this first quarter. 3 on the way from Martins, way short. Lewis right there for it. Jenkins, way out 3, backs down, pulls up her dribble. Now Phillips, Ari's 3 off the mark. Ripped away by Boating. Under a minute now. Johnston by 5. Tipped away by Lewis out front. Will chase it in press row. Laura Leonard almost with the save. Laura and BJ Shabel have the call of the 5A final, which will be played tomorrow night, 6 o'clock on Iowa PBS. Pregame show begins at 5:30. Watch it on the web, watch it online in all 99 counties for free. Jaden Pratt, turnaround on Jenkins, no good. Actually, that's Phillips that's defending her now. The putback is good. First 2 points for the senior headed to Illinois State. Kennitz, nice ball fake, gets it in the lane, 8-footer, good.
Watching the first round, I thought she was a starter. She's so good. There is no drop off when they go to their bench.
She spent 2 years in the starting lineup, a lot. So that is absolutely why she plays like a starter, because she's used to being there. Jaguars down by 5, content to hold for the last shot as we approach 10 seconds. Crawford with it. Now 5, gets in the lane, runner, and a foul. 2 shots coming with 2.6.
Here's Crawford going left, a little hesitation move, goes strong up with her left hand and gets fouled. From the free throw line, she shoots 75%, and it's this dynamic duo of Maya Crawford and Jaden Pratt. They lead their team in scoring, in rebounding, in steals, and in assists.
Crawford's free throw is good. Her 2 points have come from the free throw line. Jenkins back in on an IMT insurance substitution. Crawford hits a pair. 2 seconds. 1. Kennitz lets fly. A little too close. Darn near put that thing in through. 1 great quarter in. Johnston by 3. Winner to play in the championship game from Wells Fargo Arena. You're watching the Iowa Girls High School Athletic Unit Digital Network, powered by Mid-American Energy.
At Mid-American Energy, we're one company serving 1.6 million people who all need energy that's available 24/7. That's why we work 24/7. That's why we make investments in our systems that make us more resilient to extreme weather. That's why we generate power from all available resources to cover the variables in supply and demand. And that's why when the power is knocked out, we work around the clock to restore power to you. Mid-American Energy, obsessively, relentlessly at your service.
It's Frank. Frank. Mr. Frank. And just what you did now, I think you're the best ever.
In your neighborhood, there's a place so good. It's so nice to be at a store meant for me. The feeling of family, you have to agree.
Wow, thanks, Fairway Frank.
Welcome to Fairway, your Fairway family.
Across Iowa, hundreds of neighborhood banks are providing jobs, supporting businesses, and strengthening our communities. Here, success is built by you, and the life you build is backed by Iowa Banks. See what we mean at iowabankers.com. Joanna Settles, Paul Yeager with you here. Joanna, this is the easy one I'm going to set you up with. Johnston averages 68 points a contest. Is that the most intriguing stat of that first quarter, too, that they only have 16 points?
It is. Shout out to Ankeny Centennial and their defense. To hold them only to 16 is impressive.
Crawford has her pocket picked by Lewis. And now it's Phillips. Ari with it. To the right side. Jenica dribbles back up top the key. Called back into the lineup. 3-set screen. Rattles around, no good. Jenkins collects, puts it back up, too strong. Gets a third try and scores. Crawford from the right block. Gets stuck and she travels. Turnovers in that first quarter were 7-6. Now it's 8-6. Oh, 4. They took one away from two away from Johnston. So those can add up.
They can. Both teams really handling the pressure pretty well.
Jenkins way out 3. Good.
Amani Jenkins can do it all. You saw her offensive rebounding, so strong in the post area offensively, defensively. She really makes it hard for Jaden Pratt and company.
Jenkins is an extremely hard matchup for anyone, and especially Centennial, which doesn't have Jaden Pratt can jump out of the gym. She's just not built as high up into the air as Jenkins is, so it's hard to get anywhere. Crawford's pass is tipped, trying to get it back to Pratt. There were 3 white jerseys around that pass.
Yes, again, but that was Jenkins with the deflection causing that steal.
Lewis gets around. Now Jenkins in the corner. She's going to try her luck again from 3 and again connects. Now 12 for Amani Jenkins. Back-to-back threes and a timeout for Centennial. You are watching the Iowa Girls High School Athletic Union Digital Network powered by Mid-American Energy. As we go to break, Jenkins in her 3-ball goes in.
Mid-American Energy, we're one company serving 1.6 million people who all need energy that's available 24/7. That's why we work 24/7. That's why we make investments in our systems that make us more resilient to extreme weather. That's why we generate power from all available resources to cover the variables in supply and demand. And that's why when the power is knocked out, we work around the clock to restore power to you. Mid-American Energy, obsessively, relentlessly at your service.
Johnston out to their biggest lead of the game. Just like that, it's 11 points. 24-13 as the Centennial faithful cheering here today, making the drive down. It's Jersey Day for the Johnston crowd. A little bit of Lakers. We got a football jersey. Lots of basketball, though. Yesterday, they needed a snow jersey to get through. We made it through the snow day. We got more snow coming tonight, but right now, beautiful day inside for basketball. Johnston now 58% from the field. They don't miss when they get the opportunity. Lizzie Beam now at the top. Ava Martin back with the basketball in the wing into the corner. Looks like Centennial looking a little more set play, driving in and before a pass. So here's the thing, Joanna. What Centennial's trying to do is drive and kick. Johnston just makes it dang near impossible to execute.
Yes, they collapse 2 and even 3 defenders. It's hard to get that ball out of there. So they'll need to go to more pick and roll, keep their spacing, try to penetrate, even a little more shallow in that penetration and kick it out.
Lewis connects on a 3, her first 3 of the game.
It is raining threes for the Johnston Dragons. My goodness. That's why they're so great. This dynamic duo of Jenica Lewis and Amani Jenkins. They're tough to guard because they're so good on the dribble drive, but man, you have to stay deep up in them on the 3-point shots.
Ava Martin bottled up there. Now Blackmore. Smith into the corner for Beam.
Notice they're keeping it on the perimeter more. They haven't gone deep into the paint.
Blackmore's going to have to shoot 2 on the shot clock. Hits the front of the iron. Chasing down the loose ball is Ari Phillips. Here come the Dragons. They got behind, Kolb underneath the rim and score.
Yeah, great defense for 33 seconds. And man, they score in 2 seconds down the court. So fast.
It was a 3-point advantage. Centennial has yet to score. Just look at Phillips. Finding Kolb. Ball never touched the floor after midcourt.
Again, Johnston doing so many things well, causing a lot of early timeouts here, and Coach Young to say, hey, you've got to stay with this girl on 3-point line. You've got to get back in transition. We don't want to give them easy baskets. We don't want to give them open looks at 3, and we don't want to give them easy layups. But, man, it's hard to defend these Johnston Dragons.
My math is correct. That's a 13-0 run to open up the second quarter. Johnston has these, when you look at the charts of the way these games have been between Johnston and Centennial, they have been close in the first and second quarter. Usually it's the third when the separation starts to happen. How do the Jaguars get back to get this thing a little closer than 16 points?
When Johnston's shooting that well, you basically can't. Really, like it is really a monumental task here to try to slow them down, but you can get back in transition and not give them easy layups, I'd say that. But in the first round, Johnston has had the running clock with 2:51 to go in the third quarter. So they will keep running and gunning as much as they can.
Crawford back into the game after that timeout. She'll be fouled here on this. Jenkins got her right there on the arm.
A nice take by Maya Crawford.
Crawford hits the first. Crawford headed to Drake. She's committed last year to them, and asked her, I said, hey, we talked in November and you had high expectations for the season. How do you think things have gone? And she goes, we are right where I thought we would be. I thought we were a state semifinalist team. I think we can still give Johnston. Everybody knows they're going to have to beat Johnston at some point. She knows the assignment, doing her best there. She hits 2 free throws. And it's going to be a legal screen on Johnston, and that's a turnover.
It is. And Maya Crawford, she's drawing so much attention. All 3 times that she's taken it to the rim, she's gotten fouled. So a lot of defensive focus to try to slow down Maya Crawford by Johnston.
Kinnett's the foul. Jaguars looking for a good offensive look here. Johnston's made it extremely tough on them. Into the corner they go. Pratt drives in on Jenkins to the block. Pratt gets by her, and then she's fouled before she gets the shot off. So now Jenkins has picked up 2 fouls here in the last 90 seconds.
I love how hard Pratt is working to try to get around. Here she is.
And Coach Gillick is calling right there what you just saw. Pratt getting the arm around, and that's what he's making the case right now. Driving in and block, clean block by Kolb there. Jenkins drives in, uses the rim and 2 Jaguars blocking each other and scores.
Yes, and every inch of that 6'1" frame.
14 points for Jenkins. Pratt misses. She's trying to compensate for that big defense, and that one was just too strong. Phillips catches it in the paint to another cutting player. That's going to be Lewis. She's fouled. She'll go to the line for a pair.
Yeah, she wanted that and one.
Everybody does, don't they?
It's so fun.
Here's a look at that cut by Lewis. I think they whistled beam on that.
She put it up right in the middle, as you can see that white square up there. She put it right up in the middle. Need to be a little bit further to the right.
First free throw is good for Lewis. 6 points now for the junior. And an IMT insurance substitution. Learn how you can be worry-free at imtins.com.
Jenica Lewis is an 87% free throw shooter, which is really high for this 5-on-5 era of basketball.
I had a conversation about that yesterday with one of the coaches who's been around a couple of years, and Pratt powers through, too strong, and then Ava Martin is going to be called for the foul. And that was one of the conversation was, I said free throws, it's not uncommon now to see somebody under 60 as a free throw shooter. And in the olden days of the 6-on-6 era, when the shooters, and he's like, they were so much better shooters in the 6-on player. And I love 6-on-6 basketball, Joanna, but the thing is, those girls didn't have to play defense, and they could focus on that shot. They're a much more complete player than they used to be, as Phillips gets the turnaround too strong.
They are, but much pure of shooters, and that's why everybody loved 6-on-6 basketball, because they scored so many points. There were so many games in the 90s. How fun is that? So, and they used to have, even in the 70s, they had free throw competitions here at the state tournament. I mean, in the 70s, Sue Weber won. She was a Winfield Mount Union star. I talked to Grandma Bob Krager, Lou Jean Krager, this morning on the way up, and Aunt Amy Krager about these things. They sent me some old photos, but I think we should bring back the free throw shooting, not only percentage, but the competition here at the state tournament would be so fun, and some three-point shooting as well.
It could be, but we have a lot of up and down action there as Crawford is reached in on by Kinnitz. No held ball. Instead, it's going to be a foul. All right, so in full disclosure, you have more than 1,000 points career.
Yes.
Played in the 6-player era. What was your highest point total?
I played in the transition,
you were in the transition
years. So
right?
I grew up and played, not working on full court anything, not working on more than 2 dribbles, right? Using your dribble, scoring from half court with 2 dribbles. And so when I went to high school is when we switched to 5-on-5, and it was the slowest fast breaks that you've ever seen, because we were used in 6-on-6. The referees took it to half court.
Block there, Kinnitz. On her way to the basket, she's fouled. Pratt picks up the foul. Here's the replay on the give and go. Kinnitz just attacks. Pratt kind of moves her shoulders and kind of throws the left into Kinnitz, and that's the third team foul here in the quarter. Almost had a fourth right there coming down with the ball. Phillips gets by and scores.
Wow, Phillips is so good. You see the hang time there on the layup.
Ari Phillips scores her first two, and now we have a whistle. And starting to get a little more contact. Maybe not quite as clean as that first quarter. There is more contact now.
There's Jaden Pratt working so hard in the post area. She's rewarded on that post up as Adiah Phillips puts a little too much pressure on her.
Pratt back at the line. Hits the first. Pratt now with 3. 1,000 points this season, 600 rebounds. She's been in 8 state tournaments, 4 in volleyball, 4 in basketball.
Well, you saw her jump there to try to get that. She looks like a volleyball player.
Jaguars have been at state in volleyball. Great program there. Crawford with it. Now Beam, Martin. 90 seconds to play in the quarter. Inside Pratt. She's got Kinnitz, gets past her, but a little too strong. Who's there for the board? Lewis.
Oh, Lewis. Pratt is working so hard. What a tough task against these Johnston Dragons. They're so long.
Crawford jumps the pass, and she was going to struggle to get the ball up in 10 seconds because Johnston left back a couple of defenders, and if that foul doesn't get called, that's probably either a timeout or a 10-second call.
I would bet that Maya Crawford has not gone an entire half, probably her whole career. She goes to the free throw line again here the 4th time, but she does not have a field goal on the day.
Crawford back at the line and misses the front end.
Now, when you said to go back to the history of 6-on-6, by the way, Grandma Bub is 102. So she played at state for Richland in 1948. Her sister, Janet Klein, she was on that team as well. Aunt Janet's 104. They would have got a 1947, but there was scarlet fever.
Oh, that little thing.
Yeah.
Kinnett's nice move, drives and scores, and we'll have an and one opportunity.
So many weapons for Johnston. So much attention on Amani Jenkins and Jenica Lewis, but take a look at Kinnitz here, going strong, really against 3. It's hard to the basket.
Kinnitz with that knee injury.
I don't think it's slowed her down.
It doesn't look like it has slowed her down. That's exactly what I wanted to say about that, and that's tough when you're watching and not getting to play. They go Crawford. Pratt scores there.
That one felt good. She's worked so hard. It's tough to score against Johnston.
Ari Phillips drives in, leaves it for Dea, and that went on the baseline and out of bounds.
That was a little too unselfish. She was so close to the basket. Here, sister, I'll give it to you. No, go ahead and shoot. She knew, I think, after the turnover, just score.
The Twins have a little color in their hair. They did the dye job. Yeah, it's kind of fun every time you see a team that Newell Fonda last night had a couple of blue streaks in some of those players. And
Norwalk went with the tinsel.
Yep. Crawford is fouled way out front by Lewis.
Ooh, but love that move. As she goes by her, she doesn't give up on her defense and tries to poke it away.
There you can see Chad Gillick on the top of the screen putting his hands in his pockets, and if you'd look closer, you'd see him still shaking his head. Crawford will go back to the line here. Down 16 with 15 seconds to play. A little bit of the frustration right there starting to show for Crawford. But you have to, I think as a TV show says, be a goldfish. You just have to forget it.
Yep, make the next one. I mean, she scores 14 points a game, 8 rebounds, and today her job is to make free throws for her team.
Now has 6 points, 6 of the 22 for the Jaguars. Jenica Lewis out top, 5 seconds. Lewis goes Jenkins, 3 seconds. 3 launched, short. Kinnett's the putback at the buzzer and good. Are you kidding me?
As if it were a play itself.
What a finish. Jenkins, who's hit 2 threes in this first half, tries to hit a third right here. But as you said, Joanna, looked like a pass. Kinnett's not only caught it, reversed, and put it in for 2.
Here in Greater Des Moines, we're the unexpected sports mecca that feels like home. We are the big ballers, the little kickers, the underdogs, and the bulldogs. We've got events wacky and wild, big and small, we host them all. That old sports cliche, nobody believes in us? Nah, when you come here, you'll believe. Because in Des Moines, only the S's are silent. Let's go!
Different people have different needs, so Delta Dental of Iowa has affordable dental and vision coverage that meets you where you are. Small business on a budget? We have options with no employer costs. Traditional Medicare plans don't cover dental, but we do. And if you can't get benefits at work, you can buy direct from us. Plus, we give back to local communities, so you help make an impact. Choose Delta Dental for your smile, for your health, for your community.
Freedom Tire is proud to support the Iowa Girl through their sponsorship of the Iowa Girls High School Athletic Union. With 6 locations around the metro, you're never far from getting you back or keeping you on the road. Our certified staff and state-of-the-art technology means you can take comfort knowing you've got the best work at the best prices. Give us a try at Freedom Tire, a proud supporter of the IGHSAU.
Johnston used a 13-0 run to start the second quarter and a 23-9 second quarter total. They lead 39-22 as we welcome you back courtside. Joanna Settles and Paul Yeager with you here on this semifinal day. And Joanna, we talked about in the open just how excited we were to see this. The first quarter, very, very even. The second quarter is a totally different story. What happened?
It was, well, 3-pointers add up quickly. You had Amani Jenkins with 2 back-to-back beautiful threes, one from up top, one from the corner, and then Jenica Lewis, who makes 3 3-pointers per game. She came back with 1, but even on that last play, you know, Ankeny Centennial, they stop Jenkins, they stop Lewis, and then there's Kinnick with the offensive rebound and put back.
So that sometimes is one of those plays that can set the tone for the second half, and I don't know if Johnston needed any help at this point. Offensively, Jenica Lewis, 7 points for Amani Jenkins, 14. Jenkins was just, Pratt can jump and maybe prevent the entry pass, but she can't stop the threes.
No, it's so hard when you have a stretch 4 player, they score from so deep from 3 to really extend your defense, opens up that lane, and everyone from Johnston can score. Of course, 6 players averaging over 8 points a game. So many offensive threats for the Dragons.
14 for Jenkins, 4 for Kolb and Ari Phillips. Dea Phillips has 4. Ari has 2. Jenica Lewis with 7. but Jenica Lewis's 5 dimes is a big story.
It is. The assist column is really getting loaded. Jenica with 5 assists there. Phillips has 3. Her sister has 1 assist. Kolb has 1. That's a lot of assists for a team.
For Centennial, Maya Crawford has 6 points, 4 rebounds. She's been limited to the free throw line where her 6 points have come. 3 from Tilly Smith. That's how they got the scoring beam. And Maisie Smith have 3. 2 for Ava Martin. Finley Blackmore yet to score. Jaden Pratt with 5. We'll look at the stats from a team perspective as Unified Basketball is on the court now. It is Southeast Polk and Centennial in this contest here today. And always fun to watch Unified Basketball. And we appreciate the volunteers, student volunteers that do this at so many schools, getting an opportunity to come out to the big hardwood floor. And fun to see, as we'll let you watch a tiny little bit of Unified Basketball, and then we'll be back to talk about the half a little bit more. You're watching the Iowa Girls High School Athletic Unit Digital Network, which is powered by Mid-American Energy Company.
At Mid-American Energy, we're one company serving 1.6 million people who all need energy that's available 24/7. That's why we work 24/7. That's why we make investments in our systems that make us more resilient to extreme weather. That's why we generate power from all available resources to cover the variables in supply and demand. And that's why when the power is knocked out, we work around the clock to restore power to you. Mid-American Energy, obsessively, relentlessly at your service.
Excelling in athletics takes teamwork, dedication, and a commitment to excellence. These are the same qualities that help our pig farmers and our communities thrive. The Iowa Pork Producers Association is proud to support statewide high school athletics and the student athletes who make us all proud. Visit iowapork.org/wecare to meet the people behind the pork and hear about our winning approach to caring for our pigs, the environment, and our communities.
SWIC is a community. Southwestern Community College is a place in rural southwest Iowa where students from across the world come to be a part of a tight-knit family, Spartan Nation, where they study, train, grow, thrive, and are called by name, not by number. At SWIC, we are one.
A little more Unified Basketball going on as the two teams go up and down. And if you've never seen this in action, it's at halftime, a lot of games. You'll see it at Centennial, you'll see it at Southeast Polk, you'll see it at Johnston. Just always fun to see these kids and the smiles that they have, and thanks to all those who make that happen. Let's take a look at your Suck-Up halftime statistics as we break down some of the percentages, and there's a couple, Joanna Settles, that stand out to me. And let's start with the field goals for Johnston, 17 to 27. That is a blistering 63%.
63% from the field is incredible, and that's a lot of three-pointers within that. Again, 3 for 8 there, but 27 attempts and a half. That could be a game for some teams. So they get down the court so fast in transition.
We saw a couple of games yesterday that was the whole game. Rebounds for Johnston, they lead, but when you're not missing, there's not many opportunities. So Centennial's close in that one. But the other one is, again, Johnston just great at passing, 10 assists.
10 assists, and let's look at those points off turnover there at the bottom of your screen. 19 points off of a turnover. So many great deflections. They're not even the person that maybe gets the steal, but they deflect it, get it to their team, run and gun, and then they turn that defense into offense.
The one thing that could come into play as this game wears on is the number of free throws, which means it's the number of fouls. When you look at Johnston with a couple of these fouls, you've got 2 on Lewis, Dea Phillips, and Amani Jenkins, as well as Jayla Kinnitz. Much less fouls there for Centennial, only 4 players with a foul. So that's just a tiny little storyline to watch as it develops here.
It is, and we don't look for Jaden Pratt or Maya Crawford to back down. They're going to take it to them. Look for Maya Crawford, who we expect Jenica Lewis to guard her, to really get the ball to her early, try to get Jenica Lewis in foul trouble.
Coming up yet today here on the Digital Network, the other Class 5A semifinal, Dowling Catholic of West Des Moines against Waukee Northwest. They'll take the floor at about 11:45, and the winner plays Friday night at 6. Then we're also going to move back to 3A. We'll go to 3A first here today, Mount Vernon and ELC, Wallert and Williamsburg, before we go back to 4A, where it'll be Xavier, Norwalk, North Polk, and DCG, whereas tomorrow we'll then have our 2A and 1A semifinals. So a short day of only 6 games here at the tournament, but they'll all be visible on the Iowa Girls High School Athletic Union Digital Network, which is powered, by the way, by Mid-American Energy Company. We'll come back with the second half. Johnston enjoys a 17-point lead at the break.
This game is heating up, folks. Frank squares up like a butcher block on defense. Audie with the fadeaway. She's on fire. Literally, that is. The net has been burned to a crisp.
At Mid-American Energy, we're one company serving 1.6 million people who all need energy that's available 24/7. That's why we work 24/7. That's why we make investments in our systems that make us more resilient to extreme weather. That's why we generate power from all available resources to cover the variables in supply and demand. And that's why when the power is knocked out, we work around the clock to restore power to you. Mid-American Energy, obsessively, relentlessly at your service.
He's the prime cut passer from behind the meat counter. It's Fairway Frank. And introducing a 6'3" center who's a cut above the rest. Say hello to Audie Crooks.
Halftime as the two teams make their way back out to go through their warm-up shots as the Jaguars emerged second. Johnston kind of holed a little bit as our halftime festivities, unified basketball, and then an on-court promotion kind of took a little bit of time away. So guess what, Joanna? You get to hear me talk more.
That's what Iowa loves, right?
All right, you're digging up some stuff. You're looking in. You've been scouring that record book. You've got homework. Let's do it. What do you got?
You know, my highlighter's been busy.
Drained.
Let's talk about the history of excellence of Johnston. If you take these seniors for Johnston, back when they were wee 7th graders, I'm not going to say they were short, they probably weren't in 7th grade, but Johnston won it in 2020, runners-up in 21, they won it again in 22, runners-up in 23, and won it in 2024. Wow, what a legacy.
Titles in 2022-24. Their last 10, they are 227 and 21. This season, they've only had 3 single-digit games. There has not been a back-to-back big class winner since some guy named DeYoung won 4 when he was coaching on the south side of town at Ankeny High when they won those 4 titles with that incredible run. The last loss was that title game that you just mentioned on March 3rd, 2023. Now, here's the thing. This run, everybody talks about in 5A, and it just seems to be almost not fair because you hear Coach Gillick say, hey, Paul, we got an 8th grader. We got a 7th grader. And I have heard that, I have had that conversation with him for years now. But one tiny little asterisk on that is the number of girls in that program right now. And in many other programs about the state, we are seeing less players in basketball. We had 5 schools that didn't field a team this year that had to co-op with somewhere else. The health of the game is really good when it's the big action, but we're having a little bit of trouble with numbers. Is there any way that you can recruit some more girls to go out and play?
Well, I currently coach an 8th grade team, and you want to make it fun and competitive. Unfortunately, there is quite a bit of attrition in basketball, not in volleyball. Of course, it's not a contact sport, but one thing that everybody loves about the great teams like Johnston is they score so many points. Again, we talked about with 6 and 6, a lot of scoring, so many games in the 20s and 30s. So one big difference is because we play on so many college-level courts. That's an extra 10 feet, and you multiply that out, right? That's a lot more running and less scoring. So I love the teams that get to play on the high school court. Obviously, here we're a college court, but the high school court, I would argue, another thesis to write here, to say that there's so much more scoring on those high school courts, and that makes it more fun.
It does, and we were talking about the transition from 6 to 5 player, and Tom Lilly, who's at Cedar Rapids Xavier, who will coach here later today, he was there in that transition, and he says, Paul, there was some really low scoring. I said, I remember. I did a game my senior year. That was the year of the transition. Jessup and East Buchanan, I'm pretty sure it was 6-3 after one quarter of play. And that was common in a lot of programs that first couple of years. But now we're seeing 23 points, and that's what Johnston put up on the board in that second quarter, 23-9 as we get you ready to go. Johnston 39-22 as we get ready and now have started quarter number 3 here in this Class 5A semifinal, the winner to play Friday night in the title game. Jenica Lewis doing Jenica Lewis things with a great pullback shot, but she misses. That's not what she wants to do. Paul, that's not my game is what she'll tell me in the postgame.
Hey, let's talk about Ava Martin's defense right there, though. She was on her tight.
Jaden Pratt drives down on Jenkins, trying to pick up that third foul. Can't do it there. Jenkins grabs the rebound. And Phillips with the basketball. Here comes Ari. She'll drive down, looks for Lewis. Lewis out on the right wing, cuts that distance, blows by Martin, and lays it in.
There's so much space in the lane for her to drive because there's so many offensive threats, and they're so good from 3 that the defenders cannot leave their assignment to come and help.
Martin's 3, good. That might just be what the Jaguars ordered at halftime.
Ava Martin, that one really felt good. Of course, in the first round, she was 6 for 8 from 3.
Are you kidding me? Amani Jenkins, third 3 of the game. She now has 17. I'm not going to go play post. I'm going to go shoot the rock.
Do it all.
Wow. Martin was there for a half a second on the cut. Now Smith. Martin is going to play soccer after basketball. She's going to go to Missouri Western. Dribbling with it. Crawford to a cutting Blackmore. And Blackmore is fouled in the act of shooting. They get Ari Phillips on that? They did. Ari Phillips picks up her first foul.
Yes, Finley Blackmore with a great cut. A little quick turnaround and was fouled, but great cut, lots of offense. I love it. They've got to keep attacking like that, keeping a spread offense and cutting hard to the basket.
Blackmore goes to the line and misses the first. 6:21 to go, third quarter. Johnston 44, Centennial 25. Blackmore, every coach's favorite, the glue. She's trying to get this team to stick together and pull in and have a great third quarter, and she goes 1 of 2 from the free throw line. She's going to Western Colorado after her days on the north side of Ankeny are done. Lewis, runner, no good. That's Blackmore with the rebound. Crawford tied up. Blackmore. Martin's there in the corner. Now they're kind of bunched up. Coach DeYoung says keep moving. Martin's shot is blocked by Phillips. And now Ari is going to chase it down and head past the cheerleaders into the divider.
Into the
band.
Into the band.
Oh, she did. She picked up a clarinet. She's going to play clarinet here now in the next song break.
A quick solo. Here it is.
Good hustle. Good thing those are padded.
Good thing they move.
Yeah, that too. Yeah.
I loved the offense of Maya Crawford here the last time. She hit another speed. She was really fast attacking the basket. Of course, she drew too many defenders to put one up.
Blackmore, left, right, good.
Ava Martin. Coach DeYoung says that she's quiet and unassuming, and her teammates just love her, and she's deserving of that. So 2 big threes from Ava Martin.
Martin now with 8. Here's a look at that step back. That you have to, on this Johnston team, you got to hope you can get them to bite on a fake. because we saw Ari Phillips block the previous 3 attempt that she had. Now, Ava Martin in the postgame, she is just super calm, super quiet, and she says, yeah, I've had a couple of games where I've been able to score like that. I mean, she had 20 in the opener. She's just, every team needs that assassin. What is it, the quiet assassin? That's what Ava Martin is.
Well, again, there's so much attention on Pratt and Crawford, so to have that third score is huge. And that doesn't happen in practice. That doesn't happen overnight. Coach Young says she stays after practice. She's been really putting some extra time in to get a lot of those 3-point shots up. And what I loved is she got blocked the time before, comes right back, puts one up and in.
Dragons out of the timeout. We'll have the basketball. They're up 44-29.
You see Tilly Smith guarding, just trying to slow down things, even in the half court.
Kalb pulls it up, now left side. Phillips drives in, gets past Smith, and a foul coming. Foul shot's coming. Tilly Smith, who's headed to Grandview, just a couple of miles from where we're at. Her dad, Nate, the track coach there at Centennial. Her mom, Christy, played in the 6-player game in that 5-player transition at Britt West Hancock. First free throw is good by Ari Phillips.
You saw that really effective shot fake and attack by Ari Phillips to find herself at the line.
Phillips there with that red streak in her hair that you see on her left side. Misses that free throw.
Her teammates are all laughing, having fun. Maybe she did it on purpose just to be like, hey, let's have fun, guys. Here we go. We're up 45-29. Let's just keep having fun playing ball.
Pratt in the corner. Now Smith and Martin. Little different offense here with Martin and Smith touching the ball a little bit more than Pratt and Crawford. Smith chases it down. Now it goes to Maya. Ava thinks about the 3. She goes on Kalb, dribbles back down, gets it to Crawford. 10 on the clock. Crawford, fade away, step back. Nice shot. Just a little, not quite enough on the English to get it to fall. And Martin is going to commit the foul on Lewis, and Lewis is going to stay on the floor for just a little bit. And I'm not sure where she got hit. I think it's somewhere in the face.
Yeah, in the face, yes. Just accidental contact there in transition.
Jenica just taking a moment. She will go out, and coming in will be Dea Phillips. On this IMTINS.com substitution. Learn how you can be worry-free when you go to that website with IMT Insurance. Kennet's into the game as well. Phillips tied up. Pratt almost poked it away. Phillips gets her own rebound off the miss, and this time Crawford rips it away for the Jaguars. Maya with the eyes up. Tilly Smith in transition. Tried to get it to Pratt, but Kalb's legs got in the way.
Yeah, Crawford got up high there on that rebound.
I asked Crawford, I said, hey, how high is your vertical? She goes, oh, it modestly, yeah, it's good.
I was surprised to see her that high.
Just great track skills as well.
Very explosive.
Crawford. Guarded by Kinnitz. Martin fakes, pulls back, shoots. That's going to be a little off the mark. Crawford rips it away. Held ball will stay with the Jaguars here on the right side of your screen.
I think Jaden Pratt got a hand in the face as well.
As Jenica Lewis comes back into the ball game, well, that means Ari Phillips will go out. Junior for sophomore.
Forlow out of bounds play goes into Pratt.
Pratt and Crawford exchanging the pass. Now Crawford kicks to the corner. Tilly Smith, corner 3. Front iron goes off long. Kinnitz grabs.
I love Maya Crawford there. Tried to spin. She spun into Jenkins, and she decided and spun back the other way.
Lewis's nice shot goes off the mark. Tilly Smith chases down the long board. Ava Smith calling for the ball in the corner. Blackmore into the corner. They go Smith. Now Ava Martin. Crawford drives in. Blackmore has it poked away by Phillips, taken by Lewis. Jenica pulls up, 15-footer, no good. Kolb tips it, Pratt grabs it. Crawford pulls up, Blackmore in the corner. Now Crawford drives, gets past two defenders and lays it in. Crawford's first field goal of the game comes in the third quarter with just under 3 minutes to play, and the Jaguars are now within 14.
I love how they've kept up their defensive intensity, working hard on offense to try to keep it close, and there she pats one away in transition. It's Maya Crawford, back-to-back twos.
And now in double figures and a timeout, Johnston. Jaguars pull within 12 on some offense and then defense that turns into offense. Timeout for the Dragons. You're watching the Iowa Girls High School Athletic Union Digital Network, which is powered by Mid-American Energy.
Mid-American Energy, we're one company serving 1.6 million people who all need energy that's available 24/7. That's why we work 24/7. That's why we make investments in our systems that make us more resilient to extreme weather. That's why we generate power from all available resources to cover the variables in supply and demand. And that's why when the power is knocked out, we work around the clock to restore power to you. Mid-American Energy, obsessively, relentlessly at your service.
Johnston band. Hey, isn't that Ari Phillips' flute that she was going to play when she went into the band? That guy's playing it? Okay. There's a look at the Jaguar faithful in all black. Sitting behind us, there are the Johnston fans across the arena. Good crowd here for Johnston, and also some starting to filter in for the Dowling Northwest game that'll be coming up after this.
There's that defense. It doesn't stop. They double team Jenica Lewis on the inbounds. Have to get some help to bring it down the court. Ankeny Centennial on 11-6 advantage here in quarter number 3.
Phillips, now Jenkins. Give and go. Nice backdoor cut. Got behind the defense. Ari Phillips now with 4.
They sure make it look easy.
And that ends the run for the Jaguars. And Jenica Lewis just flat out stole that ball, goes coast to coast and puts it in the hole.
Goes up strong, well contended by Maya Crawford. She's got to use those ball fakes, pass fakes, a little more bounce passing to get it around her defender.
Pratt on the three-point line. Now around they go. Beam to Martin.
Look at Jenica Lewis wanting to get out and get a tip and another run out.
Blackmore thought she was open, and then Ava Martin pulls back, shoots the 3, no good. Rebound weak side, Dea Phillips. Phillips drives in, Ari scores.
There's so much attention on Lewis and Jenkins, but we've talked about Kinnitz quite a bit, but Ari Phillips really runs the point a lot, and she is so good. She passes so well, and her dribble drive is almost unstoppable.
Crawford backs down Kinnitz. And Jenkins tips it to Kinnitz, who runs the outlet 1-on-4, waits for help, gets it to Jenkins. Ari Phillips kicks to Kinnitz. Corner 3, no good. Jaden Pratt chases it down. She took a dribble. She was stuck. Crawford comes to the rescue as we approach the 30-second mark of this third quarter. Blackmore, now Beam. Blackmore pulls up, draws some attention. Pratt gets by Phillips, and she's fouled by Ari.
Jaden Pratt's so fun to watch, number 4 in black here. She is tenacious on defense. She's undersized in the matchup today, but she just is all-out effort every minute that she's in here. And on offense, she doesn't slow down. Here she is. There's that high jump that she has.
Swung to Crawford, now in the corner. Back Maya Crawford, 3. Off the mark. Ari Phillips again gets it to Kinnitz. Let's see what the passing does. Now it's called. Turnaround 8-footer at the buzzer. No good. That's how third quarter ends. Johnston opens up a 51-33 lead. And they have taken over and control of this basketball game. We have 8 minutes to find out who is going to be in the finals. Johnston well on their way, but Centennial's trying to make a game of it when we come back the final quarter.
At MidAmerican Energy, we're one company serving 1.6 million people who all need energy that's available 24/7. That's why we work 24/7. That's why we make investments in our systems that make us more resilient to extreme weather. That's why we generate power from all available resources to cover the variables in supply and demand. And that's why when the power is knocked out, we work around the clock to restore power to you. MidAmerican Energy, obsessively, relentlessly at your service.
Something exciting is growing on Iowa farms these days. Innovation. From tractors that seed, weed, and harvest with data-driven precision to drones that scout or plant cover crops to protect soil and water. Even our animals live in smart homes with round-the-clock care. Technology keeps your food safer, water cleaner, and makes us more sustainable. Because what we do here benefits everyone here. Life on the farm makes everyone's life better.
Jaguars are trying to light them up and get something going here. They trail 51-33. There's a look at the cheerleaders and hearing the pep band. I see their director of bands helping out. Scott Hook there off to the side, and there's the Centennial faithful. All right, Joanna settles in this fourth quarter. Centennial's got to go in a hurry. How do they do it?
They do. Just keep working hard. They're trying to slow down the offense of Johnston as you see that full court man-to-man pressure. They had that offensive run, and so we hope to see another one.
Ari Phillips drives right by, and Smith has no choice but to foul her there. And it'll be an and one coming. Just look at this move. Crossover. Kind of got her little bit of that left arm creating some space, but they're not going to call that.
No, but she drove to the right. Amani Jenkins was there posting up with Pratt on her, and she cleared the lane for her to give her a nice open look.
Phillips with 9 now. Ari has 9.
That third quarter was a highlight for Ankeny Centennial, and when they had that run and scored back-to-back buckets led by the offense of Maya Crawford, I did look over at Coach Scott DeYoung, and he was so happy, so proud, the biggest smile of the day.
And he is taking a lot of this in, knowing how special it is, and he knew that he had some expectations as Pratt is fouled by Jenkins. Knowing this team that he had everybody back, did not graduate a senior last year, all 5 seniors in the starting lineup coming back, and he goes, that just doesn't happen. And so he knew that this group was special. When you spend, you know how it is, Coach, when you spend time with a team, especially in basketball, that season is so long and you really get to know them over the years.
It is, and that team chemistry is so important, and it's important to have a lot of fun and practice off the court as well. And that's a lot of fun to go in and score. There's Ava Martin.
Gets the Jaguars a little bit closer. Kolb falls down and is traveled. Just kind of hopped over her own foot. And the freshman might get reminded of that if the Dragons hold on to win. Hopefully they'll have fun with that. Not tease her too much.
Well, Centennial has definitely kept the pressure on, kept it a little closer. Johnston's not as relaxed as they were in the first round.
Nice move by Crawford. Oh, how'd that thing not go down? Ari Phillips uses the screen, now goes in on Crawford, and Maya is whistled for the foul. Lewis knocked away by Martin right in front of the Johnston bench.
Such pesky defenders, aren't they? Crawford, who didn't agree with her foul. She didn't like that. She thought she was moving her feet well. And there you see Ava Martin trying to get a little tip to get a steal.
Martin to Jenkins in the corner. She can't do it again, did she? Nope, short. Dea Phillips grabs it. It's going to be kicked on the exit pass. Can hear Coach Runchi on the sideline calling out a defensive play. He said, we're still in this play. As Phillips catches, Ari's shot is off the mark. Tilly Smith chases the board, and before Maya Crawford can go any further, she travels, and Jenica Lewis was the reason why.
Yes, those are those little things that girls that live on the court do, is just jump that, not expecting. Maya wasn't expecting that at all to cause the turnover.
And she knew it. You mentioned it in the open. Lewis was just a slew of Division I offers. Whether it's Notre Dame or outside of the state of Iowa, in the state of Iowa. Notre Dame is the one that the whispers around is maybe her favorite as she launches the three. But if you ask her here in 6 minutes and 8 seconds, which one's your favorite? She says, I like them all. I said, how are you going to select? She goes, I'll know. I said, do you have a spreadsheet on them all? No. But she takes notes on her phone of what she likes. And the coaches that call and they are inquiring, is, hey, she made a decision. Does she know? And Coach Jillick takes a lot of those. And he's fielded a lot of phone calls over the years from Division I coaches.
He has, and there's no stopping of that. When Jenica, of course, only a junior. We should mention that because
what
so
a play
impressive.
by Maya Crawford on the underneath. That is, hopefully we see that again. And then Pratt benefits from Crawford knocking it away.
She's so quick. She is cat quick on defense.
Ava Martin, step back three, good. Third tray of the game for the senior.
It is Ava Martin. There's a lot of arch on that ball. I don't know if you can see it at the angle on your screen, but that ball goes high, which gives it a high percentage chance to go in.
Johnston had a chance to go up more than 19, and the Jaguars have cut it to a 14-point advantage. 5-12, a ton of time left. Timeout Dragons here on the Iowa Girls High School Athletic Union Digital Network, powered by Mid-American Energy.
Mid-American Energy, we're one company serving 1.6 million people who all need energy that's available 24/7. That's why we work 24/7. That's why we make investments in our systems that make us more resilient to extreme weather. That's why we generate power from all available resources to cover the variables in supply and demand. And that's why when the power is knocked out, we work around the clock to restore power to you. Mid-American Energy, obsessively, relentlessly at your service.
Fans are dancing to the fireworks song from the Johnston Pep Band here at Wells Fargo Arena. Ava Martin now with 13 points. She's done it with 3 threes. Hit 2 in the second quarter, now 1 here in the fourth. 5:12 to go, not out of the realm. Johnston just a tiny bit out of sorts. Not so much this is against Johnston as it is the Jaguars have played a lot better here in the last couple of minutes.
They have. They kind of got hot, taking the basket to the rim strong, but you know that Coach DeYoung says, hey, let's put it on. This is going to be the toughest 5 minutes of defense and offense. Let's do everything we can. Let's get this. We only are down 14.
That was the play right there.
Yes.
That was the one that we were able to finally see. And Crawford almost makes a highlight reel again as she harasses Phillips. See what the Jaguars can do, and Crawford is going to be called for the foul. And she just, she's just like, is what she says at that moment with her body language there, is that'll be foul number 3. Fresh 35, 5:03 to play. Ari Phillips. Ball's just kind of left for Cald, who's been pretty quiet in this contest. They've relied on Jenkins, who goes to the score, switches arms, hands, and scores.
That's a D1 move. spin to the right, spin back to the left. Use your left as a righty. Man, she is impressive. Monty Jenkins.
Crawford. Now Martin. Oh, she thought about it, but now Jenkins on her. That's a very much of a height mismatch there. Not many threes Ava Martin can launch over her.
And that matchup is on purpose.
Crawford drives in strong, and she's fouled by Lewis.
Nice
Jenica picks up the third.
Yeah, nice take. I love the intensity. Even in the second half, I feel like Maya Crawford's even picked it up more defensively and offensively, really giving everything she has, and she is so quick. Here she is with the left, going up strong, not even able to turn around because Jenica Lewis is there and causes the foul.
Crawford's first attempt is off the back iron. Look for the Jaguars to put on some pressure here if they can get this free throw to go.
There it is. She really snapped her wrist down. She was like, I have to make these. Up and hold that follow through.
Lead back to 15 for Johnston. Jenkins. Amani drives in on Crawford, who pokes it away, and before Crawford can get rid of it, Coach DeYoung calls timeout.
Yes. You don't want that to be a steal and a turnover, so a quick call by the experienced Coach DeYoung.
All right, there's a look at the Johnston huddle going in there. Coach Gillick really didn't stand too much in that opening quarterfinal game because he had plays. Well, there's the look by Crawford on the steal, but Jenkins had 16 in that opener. Lewis has really turned a lot of teams this year. I mean, as you look at stats, Ari Phillips with 10, 19 for Jenkins, 8 rebounds for Ari Phillips. That's really where Ari's game, to me, is kind of that next level.
It is. She's almost a double-double. She's so strong, but she reads so well. Again, when somebody is taking a shot on the wing, she knows to go to that weak side board and play the odds to try to get that offensive rebound.
Shooting from the field, the Dragons, they were at about 67, 68%, only now at 53. Only.
One of the top percentages in the state, and that's not because they just pound it in the paint. They're taking a lot of deep threes, a lot of jumpers, and so that is an impressive number for any team.
Turnovers pretty even. Centennial has 1 more, and Johnston has 5 more rebounds. So those two middle road, very important parts of the game still lean Johnston's way as they have a 15-point lead. Martin had a window and Kolb closed out on her. Now back to Martin. This time she'll shoot it again. A little too strong. Tilly Smith, the good rebound. Martin drives in, kicks it for Blackmore. Floater in the lane, too strong. Kinnitz grabs. And then Kinnitz beats the pressure. Ari Phillips to the left. Jenkins, nice move. Broke a couple of ankles on that. Lewis 3 from way out, good.
Man, the Jaguars are playing such great defense. They double, they stop Jenkins, but then the kick out to Jenica Lewis. She loves that deep 3.
The logo 3. Somebody made that a lot in Iowa the last few years. Now a resident of Indiana. Pratt needs help, gets Martin there, and then Martin just kind of dives her way between 2 defenders like a good soccer move.
Yes, Martin loves to give it up and get it right back.
Pratt turns Jenkins over left to right and draws the foul. Well, that is only her 3rd. Okay. I thought Jenkins had picked up another one, so that's only 3. 3 also on Lewis as Pratt hits the first.
Yes, she shoots 70% and makes 70% of her free throws.
Coach Scott DeYoung, game number 907. His record coming into today, 716 and 190. I said, you remember those 190s? He says, way too many of them. Coached at Colonesco, at Ankeny High, and now been the only girls coach at Centennial. Ari Phillips drives in, and her shot is going to go off of Jaden Pratt, so it'll stay with Johnston.
Right, the Jaguars should have grabbed that one. If you can take it, you should.
Lewis to inbound, 22 on the shot clock, 2.5 to play. They go Kinnitz on the inbounds. Back to Jenkins. That one was not touched by anybody wearing a black jersey, so this time it does go. And a rare exhibition of frustration from Jenkins on that play as she walks up the court.
Yes, off that 4-low inbounds, they went right into Kinnitz, and Amani Jenkins had to post up so hard against Pratt that she couldn't release quick enough for an easy two. That's why she was so frustrated.
Crawford, now Pratt. Martin has shot them back into this ball game. Kolb closes it out but pokes away the pass.
Kolb's closeouts have been outstanding, trying to slow down the defense of the the offense of the Jaguars.
And Crawford has the ball punched away. Pratt, the runner, won't go. And Centennial comes up empty on that key possession as we're under 2 minutes now. Kolb, now Phillips. And look for the Dragons to milk some clock, although Jillick says go. Phillips into the corner. Kinnitz. Lewis, crossover, gets through, lays it up and in.
Wow, and that's through a lot of dark jerseys. A nice left lay-in.
Martin with it. Martin's three will go off the mark. Jaden Pratt saves it. Crawford. What a move. Rebound. Martin fighting for everything. So is Tilly Smith, and Martin saves it. Pratt drives in and loses the handle, and it'll stay with the Jaguars. And this is going to be wholesale changes for both teams. Leaving the floor for Centennial will be the seniors. I think they're all going to stay. They're all going to go off the floor. Ava Martin, Finley Blackmore, Jaden Pratt, Maya Crawford, and Tilly Smith. Hugs down the line as the Dragons make changes as well. Baiting with it, gets the screen. And misses the shot. Rebound for Andernacht, who played a little bit in that first half, but she now comes into the ball game for Johnston, along with Emma Gray. And that's Kaya Hood. And that's Ruby Pullman. Nice turnaround shot, no good though, by Andernacht, and the Jaguars will bring it up under 10 seconds. Kelly, now Boding. Boding drives in. Nice runner, won't go, and that's how it's going to end. And the Johnston Dragons, guess what? They have a date in the finals. They are playing for a state championship with a 61-42 victory today here at Wells Fargo Arena in the Class 5A semifinal. Jaguars will finish the season 17-8 and end the careers of some great Jaguar players. There's a look at Coach DeYoung as the reality starts to set in.
It is. It's pretty sad when you walk off the court for the last time, as so many girls this season have had to do. But when you walk off the court after losing to Johnston for the third time, they are 25-0. No one has been able to beat them. So it might take a little of the sting off.
Fans, please direct your attention to the court for the awards presentation. In addition to receiving medallions, each participating player will receive a commemorative basketball provided by the Iowa Farm Bureau, proud title sponsor of the Iowa Girls High School Athletic Union. Presenting awards from the IGHSAU our basketball administrator, Gary Ross, and Executive Director, Aaron Gerlich. Congratulations to head coach Scott DeYoung and the Jaguars of Centennial on an outstanding basketball season. And now, Sydney Pullman, advance your team to the next round on the official bracket at center court. Congratulations.
Johnston advances 25-0 on the season. Tomorrow night they will play for the state championship. And it also will be the 50th birthday of head coach Chad Gillick. I think he'd like to celebrate his birthday with a win, but it took a little bit of effort to get there. The Dragons go and pull this one out, and they make it look easy towards the end, Joanna.
They did. They had a big lead. Ankeny Centennial gave them everything they could. Coach Young has to be really proud. They executed their game plan and caused 14 turnovers, which is impressive, but it was Jenica Lewis and company. Of course, she had 14 points and 5 assists of the 13 assists on her team. Such great passers. And Amani Jenkins with 19 points and 3 triples.
For the entire Digital Network crew, Joanna Settles, thank you as well. Enjoy the rest of the day and your work. Johnston advances to the championship game, 61-42. So long from Wells Fargo Arena. We'll see you next time here at the state basketball tournament.